Well, this was the scene in the West Hills neighborhood of Spokane 2 years ago, with neighbors expressing concerns and some anger about a housing project for the homeless to be located in their neighborhood. Despite those concerns, the project moved forward and the Quality Inn was transformed from a motel into a center operated and run by Catholic Charities. It's called the Catalyst Project, and for the very first time, we are getting a closer look at the center. That's trying to help solve the homelessness problem and be a good neighbor at the same time. As NonStop Local anchor Sam Adams learned, the need is being met even as that need continues to grow.
All of our participants check in our lobby.
It's wintertime in Spokane, and Gordon Wright, the director of the Catalyst Project, is showing us around arguably the most controversial property in town. It has people divided on both sides of the fence.
There's no visitors allowed on the property, and so as you came through our security gate, you see we check everybody in there.
This is a secure location with fencing surrounding the property's perimeter, making sure people are safe and secure on both sides.
And so then our next step as participants enter the property, we do a quick security sweep. So we have a metal detector and we do a bag check.
Many of the people coming here only have a small bag and the clothes on their back. They're referred here from homeless encampments and other programs with the goal of getting them off the streets and ultimately into their own home. They're able to do this by providing them with a driver's license, ID, social security number, and a mailing address.
And so this is a converted hotel?
This was this was a Quality Inn before we took it over, and it was in quite, one of our biggest challenge has been the building since we took it over.
This building has a lobby, kitchen, dining area, and 78 rooms. In every sense, it looks and functions like a hotel, except the guests here, if all goes according to plan, will be here for months, however long it takes to get them transitioned from the streets to a place of their own.
So 110 is your max capacity?
That'd be the absolute max capacity.
And what are you at right now?
We're at 70 right now. There's a new encampment that's been identified by the city that we're getting referrals from right now. So our census went down a bit, and so we're on our way back up at the moment.
And you want more?
Oh, I love being full. Okay. Like if I had my way, we'd be full absolutely every day.
Okay.
An empty room in our current community is something I don't want at all.
One of those rooms belonged to Ross.
Ross,
this is
Sam. Nice to meet you, Sam Adams.
He was one of the first to move in after he said he spent 20 years on the street.
You lived here.
I did.
And is this your first time back since you left?
It is my first time back.
What's going through your head?
A little bit of memory lane. Remember my first day. You know, when you get your first room, you get to come in. It's a blast. It's kind of a culture shock in a way, you know. You get coming off the street into here. Heck, I hadn't had a license or even ID in 15 years before I got here. Not a social security card, didn't have a key to a door, much less a bed to sleep in. You know, I came here to a key to a door. That's a fascinating thing it's a mind-boggling thing. It changed everything. It was the one thing that made it solid, you know. I knew it.
Safe?
Yeah.
Ross has just moved out into a new place, a home of his own, and hopefully a job as well.
It's a very exciting time for me right now. Very. I like it. I don't know very many people out where I'm at, but that's the way I wanted it. I wanted to start, you know, just a fresh start. And it's great. I got a beautiful place, a very beautiful place. And
how do you feel right now?
I feel great. I do. I don't even recognize the person in the mirror in the morning. Every day it's a shock for me, you know, because I really did not think I would be right here.
It's a significant step for a 52-year-old who spent much of his 30s and 40s on the street, in his words, strung out on drugs. Now he says he's clean and ready for the next step.
I would tell anybody, you know, this is the best thing going and the best people I've ever met.
Why does it work here?
That's a hard thing to say that. The reason it works here is because the people are true. No one here is rushing you. You know, you're not under the gun. They give you a second to, you know, acclimate to the environment, you know, and they're there for you. everything that you can think of that might be a hang up to getting, they're there to help you.
And it's not lost on this man that on this day that we spoke, the first snow was coming down. And inside, he was warm and safe.
When we were pulling up here, I was thinking about my friends that are out there and the people I've encountered that are outside in the cold right now. We're sitting in here great. I had hot coffee this morning, you know. It was a great day. Got up, shower. All of these things, there's people outside that don't have that. But I'm glad that I got the opportunity to be where I'm at now. Because if it wasn't for here, I wouldn't be here.
How do we get them out?
Yeah.
How do we get them safe?
That's exactly the question.
As for the neighborhood, Gordon Wright isn't just the director of the project, he is also a neighbor. He lives a 3-minute walk away. He tells us his neighbors have warmed up to the idea of the project. One of those concerned neighbors was John Mark, whose photography studios are located right across the road on Sunset Boulevard. He's become an outspoken supporter of the project. We also reached out several times to the West Hills Neighborhood Council in hopes of connecting with any concerned neighbors. We have not heard back at this time. And a reminder, we want to invite you to take part in the conversation. Join us through Cord tomorrow for Helping Save Spokane live podcast. Scan the QR code on your screen to register at noon. I'll be joined by anchor Morgan Ashley for a detailed conversation on her Not in My Backyard report. This is to do with the scattered shelter model and how people in the community are responding to one of the first locations. Again, a live podcast. I'll be hosting it. Have Morgan Ashley join me at noon tomorrow, and you can join us through Cord.